It's enough, I think. It's enough, I think.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Green live stream. I'm your host, Edie Arndell. Glad to have you all here, and I'm here with Mr. Scott Free, and I think for you guys it'll be that way.
Hey, everybody.
Some people go both ways.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Was it
Even
about,
on
what
YouTube.
was that, 1933 or something? We're very honored to have you join us at the last minute, Valley Elza, to tell us all about the craziness with Butch Ware.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the invite.
So I just wanted to brag on my community for a minute.
Okay.
If that's okay. So I wanted to thank Rosemarie and Starchild for having us on WDBX. Let's see. Mac, my campaign manager, and I were on the radio for 90 minutes yesterday at 4:15 Central Time. They were super sweet. And here's a picture of us in studio.
It was a great interview. It was really good. It was really.
Wow.
I think it really helped a lot of people. Again, I always feel like our audience is still learning about the Green Party, like always, right? What is the Green? So I thought you both came across so well. It really helps the Green Party to do radio. Absolutely.
I'm on
Totally.
the radio. Oh, anyway.
Yes.
Good thing I didn't sing. But and then that was right after we did this all day. So we went to the farmers market. This is the this Saturday will be the last week they have it at the high school. So a friend of our new volunteer over there on the right, Emrys, took a picture of us. Just asked us, "Would you like a picture?" I'm like, "Yes." If you don't take a picture, it didn't happen.
Yep.
So that's Mac and me and Emrys, and we got 78 signatures in 3 hours.
Excellent.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes. I was out in Andersonville, and Stevie and I got 100. So in that Chicago. So yeah, the attitude is really great this time around. Folks they go, "We want to change." They just come up to you and they're like excited. Yeah, it's a very different atmosphere right now. And I think people have just, they have had it. They have totally had it with, Epstein files and everything. It's just, oh God, people are.
Yeah, absolutely. God. I mean, I think the attitude is the same here in California. Like the amount of receptiveness. I mean, of course, we still get the really annoying, like, "Oh, you're spoiling the field." But it's really easy in California to point to the Democrats because there are over a dozen very mediocre candidates on the ballot right now. So it's really easy to punt and just be like, "Well, Democrats are splitting their own damn vote. What do you mean?" But people they're really receptive. They're really receptive to something new. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Little Miss, you're in my effing shot.
Yeah.
Literally.
Oh, right. I've heard about that one.
I'm never going to forget that.
Katie Porter.
Me either.
Like,
and
wow.
And it sucks. Like, I don't know. I'm sure there's a little bit of like a sexist component there. Like, I think we just naturally expect women to be like kinder and nicer, but I just can't help but be saddened by that because I used to really admire her. But then I found out that like she's a Zionist and then that she treated her staff badly. And I'm like, well, you did the worst things you could do in my book, which is treat your own employees badly. Like that's.
And really,
I think I'd feel the same if it was a man. Go ahead, Scott.
I was just going to say, I think that is the story of any Democrat. Oh, I thought they were really great. And then I found out, right? That's the story of the Democrats. And then I found out. Yep.
What is it I like to say? It's like being in a domestic violence situation, the Democratic Party and their voters. It's like, "Oh, baby, I know I promised you health care. Oh, baby, I know I can get the Roe v. Wade, but just give me one more chance. I promise I'll do it next time."
Yeah.
Just give us 4 more years and then just make sure. Let's get the House and the Senate and the White House and then we can do something.
Yeah.
I'm glad y'all thought that was funny. I thought you're not sure. You're like, I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, this is what our show's about today.
Yes. And Valley is here to let us know what's happening, the latest in California with this nightmare of the Democrats trying to kick Butch Ware off the ballot. So, Valley Elza, what's the latest?
Yeah. So when it comes to the situation, like generally, we're really taking this as more of a positive thing than anything else. And it's like I was telling you too before the stream. this is really kind of a golden egg that they've handed us in terms of press, right? Because it's a very easy, open example of what it looks like in real time for the government and for the Democratic Party, supposedly democratic, right?
Yeah.
It's a very easy example for us to point to and say, hey, look at what they're doing, right? They're not even giving us a fair fight. They're too scared to face us at the ballot. So they're really resorting to these underhanded, desperate tricks. And so it's been really galvanizing, quite honestly. And it's been drawing a lot of press attention. A lot of people want to talk to us about it. So, you know, in a lot of ways, they're helping us more than they think they're hurting us. And I think what they were also expecting us to be, I don't know if maybe this is the impression they get from Green Party campaigns just because we're grassroots and we tend to do things like a little bit more free flow. But I think they were totally expecting us to be unprepared to respond legally. But we were very prepared to respond legally. And so with that in hand and with the, you know, really, really amazing opportunity to just really capitalize on what they do to independent third party candidates, it's honestly like really, really great for us. And I will say that the merits of the case itself, I think, are very flimsy. So we're very unlikely to lose.
So explain for folks who haven't heard yet, what exactly happened with the situation.
Yeah. So if you want to read the full screed, I think I sent Edie the link. It was also a campaign-wide email that we sent out, I believe, Friday evening. And if you go to the butchwareforgov.com.
Oh, the Secretary of State just tried to erase us this campaign. That's in the private chat as well.
Yeah. So if you go to the bottom of our website and hit newsletter, all of our campaign-wide emails are posted there, and you can kind of read that whole thing. But I'm definitely happy to go through it. And essentially what happened was Thursday evening? Late last week, what happened was the Secretary of State reached out to Butch personally, saying that there was some sort of issue with the paperwork and that he needed to respond. They sent that email at 4:50 p.m. and gave us a 10-minute deadline to respond. Obviously, Dr. Ware missed it. He was working. And when he did see it, it was 6 p.m. The deadline had passed. And they're like, sorry, sucks for you. No ability to respond or any sort of recourse. And the funny thing is, we had corrections that actually were submitted and delivered, and we got confirmation that they were accepted by someone in the Secretary of State's office that morning. And so for them to email us and claim that more corrections needed to be made, and there's also from what I understand, there's no specification in the law in terms of the window of corrections time. So for them to only give us 10 minutes and say, oh, you're screwed is 100% a choice on their part. And so that happened, and we immediately kicked into action. We immediately got legal representation and started to look at the merits of the case, did a little bit of research, and found a lawyer that actually had tried this exact case, or a very, very similar case, against the Secretary of State, Shirley Weber a couple of years ago. Is it Weber?
Okay.
And
it looks like it. Go ahead.
Yeah. And that lawyer had tried it, had won pretty easily. So we were able to get that same lawyer, which is fantastic.
Ooh.
And then on top of that, so we have, I think, the actual suit that's being filed by our campaign. And I believe we have another person who came forward and was also willing to file a lawsuit on their behalf as well, claiming that, you're suppressed, that the Secretary of State is suppressing their rights as well. So I think we have two parallel cases actually being litigated. Okay. And essentially, what we've been trying to get people to do to respond is a couple of things. We've been asking people to donate to our legal fund because legal representation is not cheap, requires usually a huge retainer and then billable hours, as I'm sure you both know. But two, we've also been asking people to call the Secretary of State's office when they're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. through 5 p.m. PST. Yeah, exactly. Because what the Secretary of State will do is they will list the amount of people that are calling in with concerns. And as you both know, public pressure through phone calls is extremely effective. A lot of people really underestimate how effective it can be in swaying things. But if you get enough people to slam their phone lines and make their lives very hard to do their jobs, other than responding to the phone, it is actual political pressure. So we've been trying to get people to donate. We've been trying to get people to call. And in addition, what we're looking at right now is we're trying to get people to pack the court the day of the hearing on Thursday. So on Thursday, March 26th at 3:30, there's going to be a hearing where they announce the decision or the first ruling for the case. And so what we're trying to do is just pack the room. It's a public hearing. Anybody can go. I'm going to be going myself, even though I live in San Francisco. There's actually a train that goes from Oakland to Sacramento. So super excited to take that Amtrak, go up there. And, yeah, I think it'll be my first time in the Capitol as well. So we're trying to get people to show up and just really show how much support this campaign has. Already the Secretary of State's office has received hundreds of calls, and a lot of people are making their complaints known.
Excellent.
Go give him some hell.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was going to add this one that the elections division actually has numbers for different languages. So there's a whole bunch of numbers here. If you go to their site, you could see the main one there is the 657-2166, area code 916. Then there's a whole bunch of others. You can just go to their website. So for different languages. So complain in every language, everyone.
Yeah. And it's really interesting because the thing that they're claiming that we did wrong was that they claimed that we didn't properly redact a document on one of the tax returns, that we didn't redact a phone number, and that because we didn't redact it, that somehow invalidates our entire candidacy. Which
gave us too much information.
Right. Like if it was the other way around, it'd be like, okay, maybe, but they're saying that because it wasn't done essentially like to the T. And you both know that's how Democrats work. It's like very similar to how they kicked Jill Stein off the ballot in Nevada in 2024, despite the fact that the organizers were given the wrong forms by the Secretary of State. The Supreme Court was essentially like, you guys still should have known.
The wrong form. The right form, and then the wrong form replaced. So somebody decided, no, we can't let them on the ballot. And it smacks of desperation. It smacks of fear that they know Butch is a force to be reckoned with, and he might actually win and beat the pants off of them. And I really hope he does. I think it's just showing them for who they are. And Kalia's here. Hi, Kalia. Sorry I didn't make it to your show. It looks like you started a little late, but I encourage people to make a video of them calling and use hashtags.
That would be fantastic.
Original post.
Yes. Oh, that's a brilliant idea.
Oh, you're so great.
Yeah, we got some social media gurus in the chat. Yes, like just ways to like get the word out. But yeah, it's really interesting what you were just saying, Edie, about like the desperation, right? And I think it does show, I'm sure they're trying to do like a lot of opposition research on Butch and trying to like dig up whatever they can. If this is the best that they've got, I think it says a lot, first off, about, the integrity of Butch's character. If this is like the worst thing they can do is say that we filled out one of our forms wrong. But also, it just smacks of the desperation and their general underhandedness when dealing with the Green Party. And I think it really just brings credibility to a lot of the claims that we make constantly that are backed up by a lot of history and a lot of evidence. But people tend to, be like, oh, see no evil, hear no evil. But no, we're being very vocal about what they're doing here because it's completely unfair, and it is suppressing the will of a lot of voters here.
Yep, right. Anti-democracy, the group that wants to save democracy.
That was Kalia Fitzgerald. She's North Carolina, and she knows all about that because of what happened with Matt Howe.
Oh my goodness!
And now they are on the ballot because they had, they lost their case.
Yep.
That was completely illegal what they did.
No, that was crazy. So in the link that I shared with you that in the link where I was talking about where we sent out that campaign-wide email, we talked about that. We talked about how Democratic Party operatives were impersonating Green Party members and harassing people to withdraw their signatures. And it's just like insane the lows that these people are willing to stoop to. And then they're not held accountable for it at all. Whereas, like, can you imagine if we tried to do something like that? Right? Like, we're held to
your house and drag you out by your hair or something.
Right? Like, I feel like we would get jail time for that. But for them, it's just like, sucks. You should have somehow planned for counter insurgency in your organization.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian. He says Dems are not above lying and threatening Greens. Yes,
yeah.
I know.
Absolutely.
I know. Scott can attest to this. In Illinois, it's really brutal because we have to get 25,000 valid signatures in really less than 90 days because Memorial Day's been thrown in there because they decided to move the window back. So right when we're about to turn it in, there's Memorial Day right there.
And we just lost June and they gave us March, the nightmare weather, month.
Yep.
So, horrendous.
Yeah, you could really tell now that we're in it how much it's hurting us because Well, as I said, we got another example of climate change here. It's 32 degrees in Chicago and 90 in Carbondale. So Edie could go out and petition, but nobody's going to sign when it's frozen.
Yeah, if I can survive the heat.
Oh, there you go.
Like, it's been really nice.
Yeah.
But man, they're just making it really hard.
Yeah.
And plus, March is traditionally very rainy. How are you supposed to get paper petitions signed in the rain?
Right.
You can't unless you're under a shelter. And then you run into all the restrictions. Oh, this is private property and this you can't be here. So like at a grocery store, which is a great place to get signatures, but you have to get permission. So all the chains will not let you. You can't go to Kroger or Snooks or wherever.
Yeah. But I could throw in one positive. So I was in Andersonville, and it's a lot of small shops, there's owners standing there. I had about 3 owners come from outside their store to sign the petition.
Wow.
It was so great. I'll sign that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I like our co-op. That's been really great.
Okay.
You all don't have to get petition signatures in California, right?
So we do petition. So I think because the Green Party does have ballot access here, I don't believe it's required, but you can do petitions in lieu of filing fees, which is something that we were working on in January, because the filing fee to get Butch on the ballot was something in the range of $5,000, $6,000.
Oh, God.
And I think for the signatures, each one is like a little less than $1 each or something. So if you could collect like 6,000 or 7,000 signatures, you could use those signatures from registered voters in lieu of the filing fee. But they also did a very similar thing to us, where the window was like from the end of December to like beginning of February, which is also like usually very cold and rainy weather and the most miserable time to be out there with petitions. And, people are also like getting back from winter break and stuff. So like, it was pretty tough on us, because like a lot of our volunteers are like out of town, or like, just getting back into it, just like a very weird time. But even in spite of all that, the campaign still did really well. We had hundreds of volunteers up and down the state collecting signatures. And I think it was a really good like sort of test run for us in terms of like genuine field operations and what that looks like, coordinating strategy across an entire state and giving the volunteers something a little bit more concrete to focus on. So it was really fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say so.
Should we play the video of Butch and when he talks about what had happened? Yeah, let's do
that.
Okay. Hold on one second.
We do have somebody here from California. Maybe you know them.
All right.
Calvin Stevens says it's been really hot here in California.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Calvin. Calvin's awesome. If this is the person I think they are, they're a volunteer in our campaign. Super awesome.
All right.
And please reach out to Mike. He's in LA and he's trying to get things going there for the Green Party.
Oh, wow. Excellent.
Okay.
Let's see. Is it ready here? Here we go.
Yep.
Okay.
And he's been doing great with his videos, by the way. Holy crap.
Thank you.
Love
our video production team is
the Israel First, California Last Democrat establishment in this state is trying to keep the only Muslim candidate off the ballot entirely. We're going to stop them, and I'm going to tell you how at the end of this video. But first, I'm going to give you the who, what, when, where, why. First, the who. I'm Butch Ware, and I'm the Green Party candidate for governor in the state of California. You might know me as the Green Party vice presidential candidate. We finished third in 2024 presidential elections. To this system, I am the most dangerous man in America because I am polling only 8 points off the lead in an open primary. They can hear me breathing down their neck and they can feel me coming and they are afraid. So let's talk about the what and the where. They are claiming that a ticky-tack clerical error in my filing documents is going to take away your right to vote for an independent third-party candidate in this election. The where, right here at the county elections office. I filed all of the paperwork, dotted every I, crossed every T. But up in Sacramento, some paper pusher decided because I had not redacted my phone number from a copy of my 2023 tax return that they were going to throw out my entire dossier. Yes, that's right. They have resorted to that level of desperation, which brings us to the when. They gave me 10 minutes to respond to their document request. We received a message at 4:50 p.m. saying that we had to correct the redacted document by 5 p.m. or we would be disqualified entirely. You can smell the desperation on them. And that brings us to the why. These people are deathly terrified of you having a candidate on the ballot that is going to divest from war, divest from genocide, bring you universal single-payer health care, housing first, and human rights. They're terrified of someone who will stand up for immigrant rights and immigrant communities, for the trans community, and yes, for my Muslim community. They are deathly afraid of a Black Muslim anti-Zionist on that ballot because they know that we are poised to win. Here's what you can do. Here is your call to action. Call the Secretary of State, Shirley Weber, a Gavin Newsom appointee who claims that she's there to empower marginalized voters and extend the franchise to everyone. And they are applying a poll tax, trying to get me off of the ballot by saying, count how many beans are in that jar, boy. Call up Shirley Weber and tell her to put Butch on the ballot. You can also donate to our legal fund. The reason why Zionist authorities do this is they want you chasing your tail and going to court, wasting time on lawsuits, nuisance lawsuits, instead of fighting for the people. Donate to the legal fund and spread the word widely. They are trying to keep my name out of the news because they know that when people hear this message, we win. They try to block me off the ballot. Yeah, they tried to block Butch off the ballot. But you can help us break through and bust back. I'm Butch Ware. I'm running for governor in the state of California to bring the power back to the people. Join the fight at butchwareforgov.com and take the fight to these people.
Yes. God bless.
Great. I just put the phone number in the comment section. Monday
Yeah.
through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard. So it's 2 hours earlier there. So if you're, you know, depending on where you live, and there's the number, and I'll go grab Butch's website. But go ahead. Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot to switch us back.
And I mean, we love Ed. You know, you're in charge of social media, so we have to thank you for these wonderful videos. And he's just doing a fantastic job. I mean, they're engaging, and the music's great.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. Yeah, I can't really take credit for the videos. We have an amazing video production team, and we also have an amazing digital media director. I don't know if you follow Black Leftist on Instagram, but he's a pretty popular creator. He describes himself as a shit poster, but he's really popular with like people on Instagram and has a lot of really fantastic like social media skills. And we also have a really great video production lead and a lot of really great volunteers that are editing and doing all that hard work. Like, quite honestly, I had very little to do with that video. More of what I am responsible for is like just trying to get Butch in front of as many people as possible, you know, getting him on different podcasts, connecting with different newspapers, you know, blocking it all out in his schedule. I mean, I'm sure he thinks I'm a little crazy because I'm like, all right, you're going to do this interview then, and you're going to have 2 hours, and then another interview, and then this, and then that. I book him out sometimes. But I think it's really important for us to kind of like get out of the little algorithmic bubble. You know, I feel like with like Instagram and stuff like that, it can be really easy to think you're talking to new people, but like it's just kind of like the people that kind of support us already, right? Which isn't to say that like social media can't be a great tool. It's an amazing tool, but you know, I think we have to make sure we don't put all our eggs in the basket of corporate controlled social media that are known to censor and shadow ban us, right? So like we can reach some people on there, but I think it's really important that we really like try as hard as we can to like get out there in front of people in real life, get in all these different platforms, different podcasts, things like that, places where people wouldn't expect to see us, or maybe it wouldn't just happen naturally. But I've been really impressed by like how receptive people are when we reach out. We just have to do that outreach and make those connections.
Okay, cool. No, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I also just put the link to donate to the legal fund in there as well.
Okay.
In the comments.
Excellent.
But yeah, I mean, that picture I showed at the beginning of Mac and Emrys and myself, we were just like, wow, you know, who cares about social media? Look, you can actually get out of your house and talk to people in person. They don't know what you're saying.
Right. No, we've talked about that a lot, that, you know, we're changing hearts and minds. It's kind of a one-on-one thing. I mean, it's conversations that we have with people where we sit and talk and discuss things. And that's, you know, the social media is wonderful. But no, I mean, person to person, it is so important.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where, you know, oh, I'm sorry, Edie, go right ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think you get a better sense of what the community actually thinks instead of like the online world where it can be skewed. But go ahead.
Totally. And then, you know, that doesn't even include like shadow banning, and then the bots, right? You don't even know if you're talking to a real person or some person that's trolling and is on their third account, right? Like just spamming you. I mean, and you don't have to deal with any of that in real life. And I think, not to say Butch isn't a star and he does it super well in those videos. He's amazing. He's an amazing speaker in every context. But I think I find that he just has such like a magnetic quality to him in person. And I think that's why I've really seen him win people over, is when he does these in-person appearances, when we can get him in front of a crowd. And so I think really the mentality of our campaign isn't so much like, oh, like, will people like Butch? Do we have to convince people to like Butch? Not really. We just need to get him in front of people, right? And to get him into these rooms and have people listen to what he has to say, because I swear he gets like 2 or 3 sentences out and people are like, tell me more, like they always want to know more about, how he thinks and his background and like the way he looks at the world and how that all like works into the platform and then the Green Party, right? So, I mean, I think really that's our strategy, is just trying to get him in front of as many people as possible, especially knowing that we are being censored and shadow banned. Like, I don't think the social media numbers like really do any justice, and it can be really dangerous to try to measure the viability or like the success of your campaign on social media numbers, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Anybody can follow you from around the world, and like they may not be your voter demographic, right? Like, it's really important, I think, to measure based on like the sorts of in-person interactions you're having. And personally, like the fact that we've already had such a good, response to the Secretary of State, and we've had hundreds of people calling, like it may not necessarily reflect in like our social media posts, but it means people care and they're actually doing something in the real world. And I fully expect that courtroom to be packed on Thursday. So yeah, I think we really are gaining a lot of momentum, and the Secretary of State also doing this to us is a sign that we are something to be reckoned with.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, I wanted to add this. There's the volunteer page.
Yes. So yeah, right now, really, really big push for volunteers with the campaign. One thing we're really focusing on is phone banking and door knocking, but especially phone banking. It kind of depends on where you are in California. But you don't have to live in California to help us phone bank, obviously. You can volunteer from anywhere in the country. You can also donate from anywhere in the country. We can always use more donations. It's a grassroots campaign. And if you can afford to give us a recurring donation, that helps a lot, because it helps us plan for the future. And you only have to support us through November for less of the cost of your Netflix or Spotify subscription. But if you can volunteer and give us a little bit of your extremely valuable time, that is also incredibly helpful, and you can phone bank from anywhere in the country. And if you're in California, even better, because you can do more of that really high quality voter to voter contact in real life. Even if door knocking is as like far as like your next door neighbors, 2 or 3 people on your block, it has a ripple effect, right? So definitely sign up to volunteer. And I think the URL is butchwareforgov.com/volunteer.
Yeah.
Yep. I got it on there.
Cool.
Thank you.
I'm a little bit behind the scenes. Yeah.
And we'd have one more Butch video here if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it uploaded.
Let me get it.
Okay.
Hold on.
One thing that I've discovered, because they say door knocking is like the most labor intensive, is go into places where people are already gathering.
Yes.
So farmers markets and co-ops are good. I actually had the owner of the co-op be very, very nice to me. Sign.
Nice.
Nice.
And he did tell me to be more gentle with his customers there. People come and some people want to argue with you. And then you try not to defend yourself, but sometimes things slip out. You try really hard to be good and just smile and take it, but sometimes it doesn't.
I have so many insults, but I hold them back. I do.
I just said, we're just going for some competition. Like, I was like,
Gosh, that reminds me of this time I was, I think, gathering signatures for Butch at a farmer's market in San Francisco. And I had this one lady start yelling at me, talking about how the Greens are the reason why Bush won in 2000. And I was like, lady, I was a baby in that election and I know more about it than you do. What? She was like in her like 40s or 50s or something. I was like, seriously? A little itty bitty Green candidate is the reason why Bush won, not the 30,000 votes they canceled out in Florida. And I could tell she like wasn't, Charity like tuned me out, but I was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, some people just want to be mad.
And they just repeat the propaganda. They don't, I mean, you still hear all this stupid Jill runs every 4 years. What about 2020? They don't even, it's just, repetition.
Totally.
Yep. They've got they've just got some people hook, line, and sinker. Go ahead,
Yep.
play the next one. Cool.
All right.
It's objectively one of the most beautiful places on the planet, but not for everyone. Billionaire landlords are buying up whole neighborhoods while families sleep in their cars. Health insurance CEOs are cashing millions in bonus checks while working people like you and me avoid going to the doctor or to the hospital because we are afraid of that bill. University regents are jacking up tuition, saddling our young folks with a lifetime of student loan payments. And every single step along the way, politicians who are supposed to be representing us are cutting deals for themselves instead. Cutting deals with billionaires and big corporations, cashing big checks, laughing all the way to the bank, and telling us that's just the way it is. See, I don't accept that. I can't accept that, and neither should you. Education shouldn't be a debt sentence.
Right.
A diagnosis shouldn't mean bankruptcy, and housing shouldn't be a luxury. That's why I'm running for governor. Together, we can make California a place that works for all of us, not just for the 1%. Let's talk housing. See, I'm done letting Blackstone, BlackRock, corporate landlords, and real estate lobbyists decide who can afford to live in this state. We are going to make social housing that we own together. We're going to cap and roll back rents, and we are going to make housing first the law, not a slogan. Healthcare? We're done letting insurance companies deny you and your mama care. With CalCare, a California single-payer healthcare system, we get the middlemen that deny you care out of the system altogether. No premiums, no copays, no deductibles, no bullshit. You get sick, you get care. Full stop. Education. We are done letting UC and CSU regents treat students like ATMs. Public money is for public goods.
Yep.
That means free pre-K, free public college, and a path out of generational poverty that does not come with a ball and chain of student debt that's going to last a lifetime. The billionaires, the corporate landlords, the insurance companies, the weapons manufacturers, they've already had their governors. They've had Democrat governors for years. Our campaign is for the rest of us. It's for the locksmiths like my dad was, for the nurses, for the janitors. It's for the students and the single parents. It's for the people holding this state together while we get priced right out of it. See, my dad was a locksmith with a 6th grade education. He worked with his hands to make ends meet. My mom was a teenage mother. She worked her fingers to the bone just trying to keep the lights on for me and my little brother. Government's job is to make your life better. It is not to make our lives miserable in order to protect corporate profits. Together, we can bring down rents, we can guarantee health care, and we can make high-quality education free for everybody. And we can build a California that finally serves you, not them billionaires. That's why I'm standing in this election and running for this position. And if you are ready to take this state back from them politicians that sold us out, then I'm asking you to stand with me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
no, gosh. I remember the first time I saw that video and that part where he's like, you know, this is a campaign for the nurses, for the single parents, for the students. Like, it brought tears to my eyes because I was like, yes, like this is a campaign that actually represents working people, that actually represents immigrants, not just the interests of the elites. And I feel like really the only campaign that is speaking to all these issues, which is why I'm so passionate about it. And yeah.
And the other thing, my take from that video is it just showed how much that our politicians have damaged our lives over the years. I mean, every single issue he brings up, it is a nightmare. No matter which issue you bring up, it's lives for people in America are nightmares because of what they've done to us. So, I mean, there's so much to work with. We got so much to improve. So, and, you know, I also just thought like when they were running for the primaries in Illinois, the Democrats, we are going to protect Obamacare. Are you out of your fucking minds? You're going to protect Obamacare? I mean, I've talked about it.
That's the best you can do, and you can't even do that.
It's like, and I've talked about it on the show that like when I was on Obamacare, I had to pay thousands at tax time because you get this, you know, supplemental, you know, that they send to the private insurance company. You get taxed on that assistance that you get. So I was getting assistance at $1,100 a month. Well, by the end of that year, I had to pay taxes on that, which ended up being thousands.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a horrific system. It's an absolutely horrific system.
It is
Yeah.
take and give very little system.
Yeah, I do actually. Well, since I joined the campaign, I haven't been as much in it, but previously I was really involved in like national single payer organizing. And something that I learned was that, Obamacare was really a deregulation of the insurance industry. And the way per patient, private insurance companies make the most money with the Obamacare health exchange insurance subsidies than any other form of coverage, more than the employer provided health plans or even privately purchased plans. They make the most money with the subsidies that they get from the Affordable Care Act. And so it's really just a blank check given to private health insurance companies and kind of billed to us as being like, oh, expanding access to healthcare. But it's like, to me, it just seems like you are making people, fork over more money. And now you get, don't you get penalized as well if you go more than a few months without having any health insurance coverage, right? Because I remember that was a big asterisk of the bill and something that Obama at the time was pushing as a good thing, being like, oh yeah, everyone's going to be covered. But what does that mean under these shitty plans where you're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars a month and they barely cover anything? And now the subsidies expiring, people are looking at premiums. I mean, I know they recently approved the extension of the subsidies because they were looking at an actual political catastrophe to the point where the Republicans were like, oh shit, our constituents are really pissed at us because their health insurance is going to be 3 times as more expensive. And so they caved, but they just kind of kicked the can down the road with that. And Obama was like, oh, yeah, this is supposed to be a stepping stone to Medicare for all. Okay.
Right.
Hardly.
No, not when you keep investing into the private insurance industry, you just gave them who knows how many millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And
much
it
money.
was a Republican plan from Mitt Romney.
Yep.
From
That's who wrote that.
Massachusetts. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
did you want to play that parody? It's pretty great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me find it here.
He usually finds the really cute stuff, but this time I got lucky.
Well, this, now I watched it. It is that classic style, right? I don't know. Who invented Rathbone? Did he start this whole thing? I'm not sure, but
I don't know. I've seen several people do it, and I just love it. Like you're talking to yourself.
Yeah, it's so fun.
It's 2 different people.
Do I have it there?
No.
Oh crap! Sorry.
No, you're
I
good.
see you. I see Valley Elsa.
Okay,
I'm just appreciating how Scott's frames really bring out the blue in his eyes.
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. I'm trying.
While we're waiting, we'll talk about.
There we go.
Look who's going to be here on our show on Wednesday.
Brian.
Brian.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he was scheduled to be on our show. I think the day that he got hurt.
Right.
And,
whoa, that is crazy.
And I was like, I feel bad. He could have been safe over here, but.
Well, I wouldn't have broken his arm. I swear, I would not have broken his arm.
I wouldn't have touched him.
Oh, I mean, it's so interesting. I'm so glad he got the attention, but I'm also I wish he didn't have to break his arm for it. And it's so funny. It's been kind of a running joke over here. Butch in a couple of meetings has been like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not going to break my leg to get nationwide attention. And I'm like, you sure? I mean, it would help.
Can we just throw a cast on you real quick?
Yeah. No, I was telling you.
Democrats broke my leg.
Right. I can't remember something going that viral. I mean, your feed was just Brian everywhere. And, again, it was really an unfortunate situation, but yeah, it was, he truly
even
got
people,
famous
even people that don't pay attention to politics.
Yes.
I'm like, Brian McGinnis, the Marine that was in the full dress that got his arm broken at the Senate hearing. They're like, oh yeah, I did see that. I'm like, he's green. He's running for Senate in North Carolina. That's who we are.
And that was the other kind of crazy thing about it is all the Democratic Party platforms were sharing it like crazy because a Republican senator broke this guy's arm. And that was their side of the story.
Yeah.
That was their side of the story. And then they find out later, oh, he's running for the Green Party. Oh, cut that. Stop promoting that.
Take it down. Okay. I see you got it ready. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
News, everyone. We are the richest country in the history of the world. Yeah, so we've heard. Can we have healthcare? No. That would never work. Can we have affordable housing? Why would we do that when there's private equity? What about public transportation? Well, think of the auto industry. Come on. Can we have childcare and parental leave? No, we're going to need you to get back to work. Can we take care of our planet? Stop. Don't let the guys from Big Oil hear, okay? You'll hurt their feelings. Can we raise the minimum wage? You already get $7 an hour. They'll be so greedy. Can we make college accessible? Well, then how would we even keep you in debt? Sorry. So what can we have? War. We can always afford war. It's kind of our thing. Amazing news.
Yep. Kind of our thing. Yep. That's
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah.
Thing.
That one just really hit hard with me. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it
that's
did.
it. Oh, can we she just keeps
Yep. But I will say it's kind of. Oh, I'm sorry, Scott. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say one of our regular watchers is calling me. That's not how it works. I'm not going to.
What do you mean she can't call in like that? What are you talking about? Isn't that how it used to work?
We should have a call-in show. Oh, I should. Well, next time I'll tell her we can do a call-in next time. I'm sorry. It was just too funny.
Oh, now I'm curious who's calling you.
Hello, you know.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. So I'm so glad that it's gonna go well. You can hang out because we're gonna talk war and flotillas and Cuba and Gaza and all that. I have a somebody that I met through the Green Party that writes this blog called Democracy Chronicles, and he wrote an article called War Pigs based on the Ozzy Osbourne Black Sabbath song. And if you've never seen that video, even if you're not a fan, it's just good. It just demonstrates, it's just beautifully done. Just have to say, the
I'll check it
tragedy of
out.
war. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You've seen it?
No, I actually haven't seen the video, but I want to see the video and then read the article so I can appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, he makes his great points, but you can do it in either order. But
Yeah.
Now,
But
do you want me to bring that one up? Because I was about to bring up Greg Stoker. So.
But I think what I'll do is I'll probably head out and let y'all,
Okay.
have the rest of your stream. But thank you so much for having me,
well,
and thank you so
you,
much for
Valia.
highlighting what we're doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, we're all in this together. If they come after Butch that day, they're coming after all of us, and we're gonna fight.
Definitely.
That's
Definitely.
just it. Yeah.
Green Wave 2026. I am just so happy to see us we're all thriving and doing so many great things across the country with Brian McGinnis, Greg Stoker, California. I think this is really our year.
Yeah.
Yep, I do too.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of the end of the duopoly.
It really is. It really is. Yeah. Regardless of whether we win or lose, I think we have so much momentum behind us that we're really building for something really fantastic and something that's going to be long term.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
And
thank you for being here, Valley Elsa.
Let us know what happens on Thursday. Yeah. Let us know.
We will be keeping everybody posted.
Or maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. Maybe we won't have to go. But I'm kind of hoping for my day in court. I kind of want my little lawyer moment. Objection.
There you go.
This whole courtroom's out of order. Oh.
Yeah.
Literally. It's just Cuba moment. Anyway.
Okay. Take care, girl.
All right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Bye. Okay.
Oh, I'm so glad you came out to let us know because.
Oh, I know. It's so good.
I'm glad that they're taking a more positive attitude. I was like, oh God, they're gonna just, they're gonna win another one because the Democrats have done some really horrible things that sounded insane, and they got away with them. So
I think more people are paying attention now. But
I'm hoping. But yeah, no, I'm glad that they have a positive outlook. Like Valioza said, this exact issue came up in court before, and they've got the same lawyer. So that's a good sign. That's a really good sign.
You can bring up whatever you had next. I mean, the Greg Stoker was fantastic. Of course, we love Greg.
Yes.
I was just trying to do a quick mental run through of what our show was going to be.
Okay. So let's see.
Yep.
So here's Greg Stoker on Michael Mezzatesta. I don't know this. Actually, I have not watched this yet. So this should be cool. All right.
Did I have timestamps for you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, 1806. Okay, gotcha.
Okay. Where is it
Can
now?
you make it big?
Crap. Yeah. I had the timestamps and now I lost them.
That's okay. Our
Oh,
audience
it's
knows.
1806. Not yeah. Well, you could tell me them. 1959 is when it ends. Okay.
Yeah.
Not going to be put on mainstream media ever, but you'll put on the Cubans, you'll put on the Iranians to manufacture consent for this stuff. And in terms of the Iranian government, let's remind ourselves that the Iranians have been trying to complete their democratic revolution for like 100 years now. And when we overthrew Mohammad Mossadegh in 1953 in our first coup operation, that's what started this whole mess. And guess what? If Iran wasn't under crippling economic sanctions, if they weren't being bombed, the people inside Iran, who are incredibly well educated, would move their government in that direction. But now we haven't been helping that at all. So when people say that, the government needs to fall, first of all, that's also a misnomer too, because we're not trying to install a new government. There's no Persian government in exile drafting a new constitution. There's no vanguard element or organization within Iran who's going to seize the institutions of power for an orderly transition, for the government in exile to come in and boom, that'll be a new state. That's not going to happen because they don't want it to happen. They're going for balkanization along resource fiefdoms, territorial and ethnic lines, and a collapsed, failed state. First of all, that would satisfy Israel, and it would also kind of basically throw a massive wrench into China's global infrastructure plans. So
and I was going to say it would satisfy the people running the private military companies that get all the money from the U.S. military as well.
Oh, yeah, because if there's a failed...
to get Iran's resources more easily.
Yeah, and if there's a failed state, guess what? You need the resources. Who's going to provide security, training for different forces, logistics? Private military contractors, baby. So that's what we're kind of looking at. So when they're trying to say we're here to save the people of Iran, dude, they don't even want Iran to exist.
Yep.
Yeah, then the next clip was 2626.
Okay.
To let's see. 2912.
Okay.
And Greg just lays it out so well.
I know. I mean, the guy's brilliant. And warning, there may a commercial may get thrown in. We'll see.
Government itself. So the military Religious Freedom Foundation, which monitors religious extremism within the military, got hundreds and hundreds of different complaints across 40 different commands and 30 different installations within the United States when all these deployment orders or get ready to deploy orders started coming through for a war in the Middle East to move assets and divisions over from the continental United States to position them in the Gulf for an assault upon Iran. Well, a lot of these military high-ranking commanders sent out emails and said in combat readiness briefings that Donald Trump has been appointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to usher in Armageddon. Direct quotes. And like most of the chaplain corps in the U.S. military are these evangelical Christians who are preaching this. A lot of soldiers now believe this. We had a frigging quote from Revelations above the arms room in my Ranger company. So every time you draw your gun, you'd be like looking at this quote of Revelation. Yeah. So this is a huge problem in the military. So they are the most useful people for capitalism because they are a political force within the country, and they don't care about environmentalism because legitimately, I'm telling you, as someone who lives around all these guys, they don't care about global warming or environmental protections because they believe the second coming is coming in their lifetime. Right. And that's when the world stops and human history ends.
Right.
So like why, and the poorer they are, the higher they'll be lifted up. And, we're not actually going to do anything to fight these billionaires because when Jesus comes again as the judge of all humankind, they're going to the hot place. So it's basically no political action exists outside of these communities except trying to bring about Armageddon. And so that's how a lot of our politicians are. That's how a lot of our military command is. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And a lot of these people, especially in the Pentagon, they're like, nuclear option, that'll really start the apocalypse.
Oh, my God.
They don't see it as something to be scared of. They see it as something to be celebrated and to usher in. So like when Pete Hegseth goes on the podium and he says, we're we're going to rain down death on the Iranians. He's not doing that just because he's a bloodthirsty lunatic, which he is. He's doing it because he believes he, as a secretary of war, is bringing about this next coming of Christ. I'm not even kidding. I cannot stress to your audience how real this is. I live in the heartland of Christian Zionism. This begins and ends with Israel. They cannot not support Israel, because without Israel, the rapture doesn't happen. So that's where we're at right now. And they are the most useful tools for capitalism.
Oh my God, that is so sick.
Yeah.
And they complain, Iran, that religious government. Oh God, it's a religious government. I mean, we have the worst religious government there is. There's nothing more dangerous than the end times Christianity. There's nothing worse than that in terms of religion, and that's what we're stuck
It's definitely up there. And right now, it's terrifying what they're doing.
Horrific.
But I had one more. It was that
running for office. Okay,
4232 to 4648. 4232. And we do not endorse the commercial that's about to happen.
We'll see. We didn't get one that time, so maybe we will be lucky.
I think things are going to accelerate whether or not good people get into office. I'm running for Congress. I do not think the system can be reformed from the inside. But if you look at a lot of revolutionary writings and teachings, there is a place for alternative parties and actually having candidates and politicians existing within the system that you're trying to revolutionize. So you do have to have some structures of power, but I want to run to educate people. I think that's one of the last virtues of the completely flawed and dying electoral system, right? People pay attention when someone in their district is running. They come to town halls, they come to hear them, and then if they like you and they vote for you, they'll see what you do in Congress or in the Senate, and they'll keep abreast of all these issues. So I kind of want to run to wake people up, and we want to do a really community-based campaign, which means teaching people how to organize alternative systems of power and mutual aid and community defense outside of the state. The reason they have so much power over us is because we rely on them for everything, and we need to imagine a future where that doesn't happen. You would think a lot more conservatives who want the smallest government possible would want something like that. But we have been so propagandized over generations to think that we don't deserve things. And I want to run for office to teach people that, yeah, you do. So when I get hit with, universal health care, you don't get free healthcare with other people's money. You're not entitled to anyone's labor. Bro, it's our money. It's our labor. We make society run. If frigging Warren Buffett, who manages Berkshire Hathaway, all the healthcare racket, if these dudes disappeared for a year, nothing would change, really. But if we disappeared for a week, society wouldn't function. So what do you mean it's other people's money? What do you mean it's other people's labor? Why are we the only developed nation on earth without access to healthcare? Why can't we start asking these questions? So this whole revolutionary process is going to take a long time, but what are the three tenets of social change? Agitation, education, and organization. So first of all, you stir up a bunch of shit. We can do that with an election campaign. And then people are going to start to pay attention. Hopefully we'll be able to educate some of them. And some of the people we educate will hopefully get involved in some sort of organizing, whether it's for the campaign, whether it's in your communities to fight these data centers, in high transmission power lines, and water issues and electrical grid issues that are plaguing Texas. Hopefully we can do that. But basically, we just are in an agitation and education phase. People's lives are bad. This war is historically unpopular. So now is the time. I just want you to learn about these things and start normalizing the idea that you are entitled to certain things. You deserve certain things that billionaire interest and moneyed interest told you that you don't deserve. And then hopefully, you'll get angry enough or righteous enough that you actually start joining us and doing something. So this is now the time to use the war in Iran, the genocide in Gaza, the data center issue. The data center issue is becoming a federal issue and is screwing up over a lot of boomers' retirement properties. And we're seeing in Texas that the boomers are actually the ones organizing all of the local resistance to this. So use the war, use the data centers, use Israel. Climate crisis. Absolutely. And of course, the data centers reflect that because it's a water issue, it's a power issue. So start having these conversations and please don't be militant. And I think the most counter-revolutionary thing you can do right now is be like, and it's a very liberal position. Oh, you voted for Trump? You know how much harm you've done to marginalized communities? I'm never going to work with you ever. Oh, say, well, okay, cool. I guess you didn't learn anything from Fred Hampton then and the Black Panthers. So, yeah.
Yep. Oh my God, Edie, I'm gonna have to thank you every week for finding that piece. We should run that piece every week. I mean,
we'll just play it on loop.
Right.
We'll just like leave the live stream running forever.
Oh my God, Greg.
And Greg he's such a gem. Yeah. I wanted to show you this solidarity for my American Greens from an Australian Greens member.
All right.
We're reaching Australia. Wow.
All right. Love it.
Wonderful.
Wow. That was just fantastic. Oh my gosh, Greg. Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I know that that's right when he says if all the billionaires disappeared, that things would just run just fine.
Right.
And you know why I know that? The easiest day I ever had at work is when all the managers were not there.
Right.
And it's not that we did anything different. We just didn't have to deal with them.
Right.
They weren't asking us silly questions. They weren't pulling us into the office. Did you check all these boxes? Did you do all these things? Looking at crap they put in, for, your mailbox for when you get back from work. You just go, you do the job, you can come back, you put your stuff away and you're out.
Yeah.
Saves an hour a day. And everything ran fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not Nessa.
No.
Oh gosh.
All right. So our next segment is called War Pigs, and unfortunately, it's going to start with Bisan, which you said I have not seen it yet, but you said it's pretty rough.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But our audience needs to see this, needs to understand what's happening.
All right.
And this is about a week ago. So
okay.
I think. Yeah, because we only do this once a week.
And we follow her from Gaza. So this is.
She's a journalist from Gaza. She's been there the entire time. Usually her videos are very upbeat.
Yeah.
And even if we survived the white phosphorus, even if we survived the bombing in the schools, in the hospitals, in our homes, there is no food, there is no water, there is no clean food, there is no clean water to drink. All what we have is the water, salty water from the sea. Now the sea is all what we have. They are trying to kill people by hunger, by making them thirsty and sick. They are trying to kill 1 million people by hunger. We do not have anything to eat. From the beginning of this war, we ate once a day. Now, even this time, we cannot afford it. There is no products, there is no food, there is no aid, there is nothing. And even...
Yeah, I mean, it is, I was thinking that they are attacking Iran, Lebanon. I know, it's rough. And Gaza, all simultaneously. And
West Bank.
Mm-hmm. And, I hate all of our media that is completely controlled, that won't cover any of this, and takes the U.S.'s government side on this stuff. I mean, it's just so disgusting that, I don't know. Well, they do have another flotilla planned. I don't know if that was in your order, but
It
maybe.
is. It is. If you wanted to do that next, that's okay.
Okay.
Give people a little relief from that really tough video, and I
You
can't
know,
even imagine how hard that is to be there. I mean, it breaks my heart, but I can't even fathom it. To
I
not
mean,
have this drink of water that I have right here. I don't know what that's like.
I remember when granted, this has been going on for so long, and I was like, well, why don't they just fly planes over and drop food? I don't understand. And I remember some comment, yeah, well, it might land on somebody and kill someone. Really?
Well,
It's just
put more balloons on it and let it float down to the ground.
even that argument is some kind of bullshit. It's just bullshit. I mean, there's plenty of area that has nothing left. It's been completely bombed out. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it's
Or
so
the beach.
disgusting.
The beach, you can see if people are there. There's somebody on the beach. Boom. But yeah, if you wanted to, they are sending another flotilla. I don't know if it's left yet or not.
It's just a article here.
Okay. I'll
I
let
don't
you.
think it's a video. It's ready to share if you want to share it. It's from Novera Media. Okay. And it says a coalition of activists have announced plans to launch the largest ever flotilla of aid ships aimed at breaking Israel's illegal blockade of Gaza. The Freedom Flotilla Coalition made up of civil society. It says activists plan largest flotilla yet to break Israel's siege of Gaza. So we just had the graphic there. We didn't have more, but that's fine. And it's got a picture of what they're starting. Again, I don't remember. It seemed like it took a couple of weeks to get over there.
Yeah.
I just,
I don't know if they have a couple of weeks. I'm like,
Right.
do they have motors on those boats? Can we get a speedboat in there?
It's discouraging.
But after watching her, and then I saw that a couple of days later, and it started me crying all over again. I'm like, oh my God, help is on the way. I hope, And I keep hoping that Israel is distracted enough by getting the shit bombed out of them,
right?
Iran.
That's a good point. It's really hard to cover that stuff because it's just flooded with AI, and so it's really hard to find. And I know that you can be jailed in Israel for posting anything.
Anything of what? Of
the destruction. Yeah, of the destruction. You could be jailed. They did that the first time. They're doing it again. So it is hard, but I think the biggest problem is the AI, just that you see all these fake things. So it's really hard to know.
Yeah, we had that fake BB thing with the 6 fingers and the ring, and I don't think we ever got to that.
No, this is fake bombings. So you but then it just says it's AI, so it's hard to know what is real. But they say that Tel Aviv has been getting hit, and you're right. Hopefully they're distracted enough that folks can get in there. But the next thing I have up is about the real reason Cuba has always been pro-Palestine.
Yeah, go ahead. That's a video, right?
Yeah. Okay, let me know when I can hit it.
Okay, added it to the stage.
Cubans are tackling US President Donald Trump's illegal blockade of the island with grit. Sure, the scale of the blockade has been shocking, but it's not the first time that Cuba has suffered economic aggression from its Goliath neighbor across the sea. Why does the US, and by extension the West, try to keep this small island in a state of constant economic crisis? Well, one answer is that Cuba is a beacon and a model and a supporter of resistance against Western imperialism. And that simply cannot be allowed to exist. And nowhere has that been clearer than in Cuba's unwavering support of Palestine. These were the scenes in Havana in November 2023, when tens of thousands of Cubans marched in the city against Israel's most recent grotesque assault on Gaza. In October 2025, over 100,000 gathered once again to demand an end to genocide in Gaza. These protests were just the latest in a long history of Cuba's action, diplomacy, and support and solidarity with the Palestinian cause. 59, a decade after the brutal Nakba of the Palestinian people, and just months after the Cuban Revolution overthrew the Batista government, Che Guevara traveled to Gaza. That visit made Cuba the only Latin American country to stand against Israel's treatment of the Palestinian people at the time. Cuba would go on to recognize the Palestinian Liberation Organization, the PLO, in 1964. In 1973, Cuba severed all diplomatic relations with Israel. And a year later, PLO chairman Yasser Arafat would visit Cuba as a head of state, greeted as a head of state by the country, even though internationally, Palestine was nowhere near being recognized as a state. In 1979, Fidel Castro spoke at the United Nations, and that's where he used the word genocide for the very first time to describe Israel's brutal treatment of the Palestinian people, noting especially that Israel's expansionist, imperialist, territorial plans required the systematic killing of the Palestinians. For many post-revolution Cubans, the Palestinians' struggle for sovereignty, for autonomy, and against Israel's imperialism is deeply intertwined with Cuba's own struggles against imperialist forces, and indeed intertwined with many other anti-imperialist struggles around the world, many of which Cuba also supported. Donald Trump's strong arm and illegal blockade of the island shows how that struggle never really ended, still goes on today. And that's why the Nuestra America convoy, seeking to breach this inhumane and illegal blockade of the island, similar to many of those convoys and flotillas that we've seen travel to Gaza to do the same, is happening. Delivering aid from across the world and coming here to stand in solidarity with the Cubans suffering under this embargo, this illegal blockade. It lets Cubans know, as Cubans have always let Palestinians know, that they're not alone. Here in
Wow. That was fantastic. And, you know, again, it really just shows, right? There are two sides here. Be warned, people, when our media talks about brutal regimes and horrible places and, oh, God, Cuba's the worst. Yeah, well, here's another example of how they're on the right side. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it also got me thinking that we really are in World War III.
Yes, we are.
But it's just the USA and Israel against the rest of the world. That's the World War III. They are trying to destroy every country that works for people. Sometimes that means their government is communist. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to destroy every place that doesn't come in alignment with capitalism, that isn't part of the Epstein empire. That's what we are. It is absolutely World War III. I did hear how the complete total blackout that happened with the blockade.
I think I put that in there later.
Okay,
it might be in there, but
well, just to, what I was going to say is that the one hospital, everyone on ventilators died that night. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the most horrific.
Because we cut off their oil, so they have no electricity, so they cannot run ventilators. Do you understand?
I mean, we are the most.
We are the real people that kill people, with just blockading them, and they've been under our thumb for decades.
Yep.
Wow. But Lara Kim from Australia says, where did it go? Let's see. In Australia, we have Medicare and the hospital is free. And I can't believe that the so-called greatest country in the world doesn't have universal health care.
Yep.
And I said, I know, Lara Kim, our government has been compromised by cash.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's unreal. Okay, so you do have a Great Zone, a piece in here.
I do. It kind of gave a better rundown because,
Okay.
Max Blumenthal is fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Oh, let me get it up. Oh, it disappeared.
Shit, sorry. Okay, let me know.
And on the stage.
Desde Santiago de Cuba, this is Danny Shaw reporting for the Gray Zone. For the next 10 days, I'm going to bring you footage, uncut, unfiltered, of what the Cuban people are living through, a transportation crisis where people wait hours and hours and hours to try to go see a loved one, crammed like cattle into vehicles unfit for human beings. This is a humanitarian crisis. None of the agricultural products from the countryside can get to the cities. I've watched Cubans scramble and scramble trying to sell their last antibiotics or whatever they have to get a meal for the day. And this is the beginning.
Yeah.
We have to sound an alarm because this war on Cuba, this blockade began intensely in 1990, and Cuba was left isolated, and they're more isolated than ever. This is the intensification of 36 years of a Marco Rubio, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Democrats, Republicans assault on Cuba's sovereignty. I first went to Cuba in 1995. I was a 16-year-old brigadista. You know, I saw Fidel Castro speak. We had meetings with Fidel Castro. The U.S. socialist delegation was always one of the most well-received in Cuba, of course, because we're representing the country that has had this long-time siege on Cuba. I returned in 2001. I returned in 2014. I was there for Fidel's funeral across Cuba in 2017. I was there for boxing in those years as well. And boxing took me in different ethnographic directions. And a big part of what I was doing in Cuba was filling up all of these different pocket notebooks with Cuban slang and Cuban vocabulary. So I'm a student of Cuban Spanish. I've been fluent in Cuban Spanish since roughly 98, 99. And I filled up another notebook on this trip. And having traveled there for 31 years, it gave me the opportunity to compare this criminal period to what has been a special period of 36 years. I flew into Holguin, which is a city of great commerce in the center of Cuba. And then I made my way across the interior of Holguin down into Santiago. And the Cubans have endured 36 years of a special period. This is the pinnacle, the apex of the special period. I talked to one woman who was sitting outside, and she was selling her fried peanuts. And if she was in Washington, D.C. or in New York City, we would have, quote unquote, mistook her for perhaps a homeless person or something. But no, she was extremely alert. And I said, and I had asked different Cubans, if that was the special period, what is this? And she responded very candidly, this is the criminal period, because of how many people, including herself, who were hungry, who couldn't get their chequera, that's the pension. I saw lines over and over of old folks trying to get their pension. So the siege is impacting everybody across Cuba. It's impossible to get any gasoline. Transportation is basically down to a standstill. But then you have the economic contradictions, which we'll look at after, where there's still oil getting into the private sector. Many children are no longer getting the food that they rely upon at school. So I listened to neighborhoods where they said, well, we used to get the rice and the lentils. Now we just get a little thing of white rice. Other schools aren't able to give anything. Other schools, teachers aren't able to get there because they don't have transportation. So if they're not within walking distance, how can they get there? Now nurses are doing 24-hour shifts because they have a hard time getting to work. This is a surgeon I just met, a surgeon from the hospital, a doctor, and she can no longer work. The hospitals aren't functioning. There's no electricity. This was a theater. Eso fue un teatro. This used to be a theater. It's not functioning. One thing I've heard in Cuba, and this is heartbreaking, is we can't really have babies easy. Women don't want to have babies. It's too much. We don't have enough nutrition. We can't take care of ourselves. ¿Cómo vamos a cuidar a los niños? So I don't know the exact numbers, but between migration and everything, lots of despoblación, like a depopulation effect.
Wow. Yeah. I actually know Danny Shaw from Midwestern Marks, which I
Mm.
recommend folks go check out. Yeah, so yeah, it's a difficult. I mean, again, it's just wow. We're just going after every country at the same time. It's
Oh, I
real.
know. It's going to be our
Unreal.
downfall as well.
It
But
is.
I just hate to think about the suffering we're causing while we're doing this. But I wanted to mention what Lara Kim is saying.
Okay.
We have the Australian Electoral Commission as an independent organization that runs our elections. You
Oh,
can't even work for the AEC if you're a member of a political party.
right.
We have early voting, so if you're working on Saturday, the election's on Saturday. We have lots of places you can vote, and they are in walking distance.
Right. They make it so.
Yeah, not perfect, but
Yeah.
Katie Halper is doing work for the Cuban Flotilla.
All right. Right. Yep. Katie is working on that. And
I love Katie.
and Code Pink, right? Code Pink is.
Oh yeah, Medea.
Pink, yeah.
There. I had something in there about that, but
Let's see.
I'm gonna make a note of that. Thank you, Lara Kim. I'm gonna investigate about the Australian Election Commission. That just seems very interesting.
Well, I mean, right, League of Women Voters used to, now I don't know who was compromised in that, but the League of Women Voters used to handle the debates, the presidential debates, and then they kicked them out, and the Democrats and Republicans formed a new company that handles it. So, you know, there hasn't been a third party or independent since they took that over. Yep.
Coincidence? I think not.
No, of course. That's why it was done. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
Let's see.
But I like the idea of, you can't even belong to a political party if you work there. That seems right to me.
Yeah.
Instead of this in Illinois, while you're getting the next one ready, in Illinois, you want to become an election judge or go work the polls. You have to choose from one of the established parties. I'm like, well, I'm green. They're like, well, that's not one of the choices. I'm like, it should be. So who's watching out for us?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, exactly. We have so much stuff. We should probably just pick the ones that we want to show.
Okay. Yeah. It was worth it though. Talking to Valley Elsa, I thought.
Of course.
That was so great.
Not complaining.
Oh yeah. No, I know. Let's see. How about something about the flotilla going to Cuba? I think the Code Pink one here. I'll put it in the. It's the U.S. can't blockade the sun. That was pretty good.
Hold on.
If you can't find it, I'll put it in the private.
It'll take me just as long.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were going to cover. Yeah. Maybe the next 3 would be okay, and then Butch. That I'm all right with that.
I'd like to do some of mine if you don't mind. I want to get a couple of those in.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
tell
the
me
next
when
2 are
it's ready.
super short. So they're basically just showing people something.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
Go.
Okay.
Oh, the one I thought I grabbed had Medea Benjamin talking about it, but they're bringing solar panels and lentil. They already delivered lentils like a month ago. So they can have power, so save lives. Oh, and bedding. That's weird because I watched it. I don't know what happened, but
yeah, sometimes it happens.
yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to remind people in the military to go to the Center on Conscience and War. I think that's something I want to talk about every time we're on.
Okay, I got it. I'll pull it up here.
Okay, and I'm going to put it in the chat or the comments as well.
Yep.
Because you don't. There are ways to get out of this. There's people that can help you. I mean, them telling you it's a holy war. Did you sign up for that? I mean, if you
Oh
did,
my God.
I'm a little worried about you. But if you didn't, there's people that will help you sue before you're ever deployed.
So the number is 1-800-379-2679. You don't have to choose your orders over your conscience.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you're right. We should put this in every week. Absolutely.
Yep. And you're an anti-Semite if you don't get into this box right here.
Should I put that one up?
Yeah, just real quick. So I said they were fast.
Yeah,
One
they're just
1
like
minute or
that.
less.
Okay.
I know we got our favorites that we like to really, let them talk, like Greg and Max Gray Zone, stuff like that. So thanks everybody for being here on this Sunday night.
Yeah.
Yep. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and all those things. Yeah, BB.
Yep. Exactly. That's one of your classic memes right there. Yep.
See, told you it was quick.
So I just wanted to show especially this Hasan. I'm sorry that I'm showing Hasan Piker. I actually didn't even know. I mean, I've heard his name and I've heard he's a real jerk, but this is a really good little example of people finding out about the, like you said, this is going to be our downfall. Our military, I mean, we have such crazy egos. We think we could do anything, but here's Hasan Piker on the F-35. Let me see. I think somewhere around 16 or 10 or something.
I can
fucking shot. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's real. Oh my God. It's real. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's real. CENTCOM confirmed it. CNN confirmed it. Oh my God. That is crazy, brother. That is our premiere. This is the next gen. Oh, we are so fucking washed, dude. Oh, U.S. air supremacy. Oh my God, the F-35 multi-role fighter jet. Something that costs almost $1 trillion fucking dollars. How is that possible? Donald Trump thinks this fucking plane is invisible too. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, that's so fucking bad. That's your healthcare. That's literally your healthcare. That is your healthcare that just perished. Okay, we could have had high-speed rail, a network of high-speed rail in this country instead of healthcare in this goddamn country, instead of fucking schools, instead of high-speed rail. I don't see why.
So I know that was short and brutal, but I mean, I'm glad he got the point. $1 trillion on a stupid ass plane. I mean,
did he say Trump thinks it's invisible? That's Wonder Woman.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, they're wrong. And I mean, at least he really got the point there. There goes our healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
There goes high-speed rail. There, just because it was some like anti-ballistic missile thing or something that got shot up or drone or who knows what it was. But $1 trillion plane that they said is invincible, not so invincible.
I thought he said invisible. That's funny.
Oh no, both. He did say that.
Oh,
Yeah.
did he?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he said Trump thought it was invisible. I don't catch everything, that goes on in the Trump world.
I try to avoid it.
Right.
Bit,
I kind of don't. Yeah. So, but now this is, I also just want to cover this one and then I'll be done. But this is, I forget his name. I'm sure folks have seen him, but he's a correspondent for Iran, a commentator for Iran.
Oh, yeah.
Morandi.
Professor, right?
Yep.
Okay, it's up.
Okay.
Let me answer. Those 3,117 people who were killed, it's your responsibility and the responsibility of your regimes, because you sent terrorists and gave them weapons to slaughter hundreds of police officers and men and countless people on the streets in order to create armed insurrection.
What proof do you have of that? What proof do you have of that?
The proof, Mossad in a Persian statement said that they have people on the ground. Pompeo in a tweet said that Mossad is on the ground. Pompeo, in an interview on, I think, channel 13 or 15 in Israel, said the CIA is on the ground. More importantly, channel 14 in Israel, which is close to Netanyahu, said that foreign intelligence agencies brought in the weapons to kill the hundreds of police officers.
Whether or not there
But
are,
you,
whether or not
excuse me,
there are,
but your
excuse
government
me,
and
excuse
your
me,
media will not say this to the people.
whether or
The
not,
footage is there. Well, you're lying, of course, and you're producing propaganda. And I
Right.
think increasingly Western media is just propaganda. Tens of thousands of people. That's exactly what you and your regime have helped Israelis do in Gaza. And your drones were gathering intelligence during the whole period of the Gaza genocide. You're responsible for a Holocaust. You're partners in this Holocaust. So you need to deflect attention.
Right.
You need to project on the Iranians what you actually do. But why is it if the Iranian regime, as you love to call it, and it makes you feel better, why is it that the Iranian regime has so many millions of people supporting it on the streets every day?
Right.
Of course there are, but overwhelmingly people support it. And that's why you've lost this war. And that's why ultimately you're going to face the consequences, because the Strait of Hormuz is shut. And it's because of your policies and the policies of your overlords in Washington that the global economy is going to go downhill.
Yep.
And Iran is going to continue to hammer US assets in the Persian Gulf because of this unprovoked aggression. You carry out war after war. You destroyed Iraq. You destroyed Afghanistan. You destroyed Libya. You're strangling Cuba. You've destroyed Yemen. Iran is a bridge too far. You're messing with the wrong people. You will see in the weeks ahead whether you succeed or not.
how much longer can Iran sustain the closure of the Strait of Hormuz?
Indefinitely.
It harms your economy too, doesn't it?
For us, it is a fight for survival. For you, it is a fight to sustain the Epstein class and ethno-supremacism in Palestine.
What's the
But
way
you-
out
as you
here?
do that,
What's the way
remember-
out here, Professor? How does this end? What's the way out?
A strategic defeat to the United States under Trump.
And what does that look like?
You'll see in the weeks ahead.
Is there a deal possible? Is there a chance of talks between the two sides at this point?
No, not at all. We will fight, and we'll hold the U.S. by the throat through the Strait of Hormuz, and we'll continue to hammer them. And if they try to do anything on the ground, then they'll really see what we can do. You've messed with the wrong country. Your propaganda doesn't work anymore, and the Iranian people have shown their resolve. They'll see this through. What you've done to the Palestinian people, to the Iraqi
Okay.
people, to the
Can I ask
Cuban
you
people,
finally,
to the
because
Venezuelan people.
we are running
you
out of
can't-
time.
You're running out of time, honey. I like that he really went after the media there too, right? You are the one doing this because she is helping to propagate this propaganda that continues, and good for him. I mean,
yeah, and she looked freaking bored.
well, and she can't handle somebody who actually can. And I just love that Iran is in the position that they actually can fight back, really fight back. And we are seeing the Iron Dome collapsing. I mean, they're, US and Israel is getting what they deserve. It's absolutely, they're getting what they deserve. So yeah, that's the only other one I wanted to show because
Oh no, I love it. Yeah. I mean, he's like, you mess with the wrong people.
Yep.
And indefinitely, because this is our fight for survival. And I want to mention again for people in case they forget, and I'm probably talking, to the choir, but we attacked them 2 times while we were in negotiations with them.
Right.
So why would they negotiate with us? We cannot be trusted.
No.
We've proven it twice.
Right.
So that is our government's fault. Our government is putting us in harm's way.
Yep.
And they've never attacked us. They didn't even threaten to attack us.
No.
No. We attacked them.
And for decades, Netanyahu has said that they're going to have a nuclear bomb within weeks, or years and years, decades and decades. And yeah, it's all been lies. Unfortunately, some people believe this stuff, but I think more and more people now are not believing the lies. And yeah, ceasefires. How can you trust Israel with a ceasefire? That's the most absurd thing. I mean, they can hold a ceasefire for 2 hours. They incapable. And ceasefires don't mean anything to them. They laugh at them. So nope, they get what they deserve here.
Yep. I did want to read at least a couple of paragraphs from our friend Jack Jones that runs Democracy Chronicle. He writes for Democracy Chronicles. I don't think he runs it. Sorry. He's referencing Black Sabbath meets the War Pigs song. If y'all haven't seen it, I'm an old heavy metal fan, so but I never was a huge Black Sabbath fan, but that video is incredible. So the title of it is War Pigs, Black Sabbath meets the Evangelical Iran supporters. And he's talking about the anthem and all that. But then if you come down here past the video and the prayer meeting for Trump organized in the White House to bless it. Look at them. They're laying on of hands on Trump for war.
Oh yeah, there were Chinese folks making fun of this. It was really hilarious. There was a whole bunch of viral memes that went around about this crazy crap. Yeah, crazy.
But that's where we are. That's why our soldiers should revolt. They should just say, no, I'm not doing it.
Yep.
But Jack writes, the amazing thing that makes this bloodbath all the more enticing is in the evangelical churches teaching of pre-tribulation, meaning that they and their church will be spared from the insidious storm about to be unleashed. Christ will come and save them from all harm before the worst of it happens. They can cause the misery, but won't have any responsibility for the fallout or consequences of it. Have we not suffered already with the loss of our soldiers in the Gulf Wars? Have we not already killed in the name of Jesus for the sake of religion? It has been said that the rich get tax breaks, the middle class lose health care, and the poor go to war. It must be nice to be special, to consider oneself as a judge, jury, and executioner, or even be lucky enough to be born in an affluent zip code. All the perks and none of the hazards of having to fight for the rich.
Yep.
Let the poor do our bidding, is what's said, and they'll make a profit off their servants' blood. This is not romantic or a thrill I want to get off on, but a travesty or a blight on the human condition.
Yeah.
And thank you for that, Jack. The whole article is fantastic.
Yeah, I got to read the whole thing. Yeah, Jack is an incredible writer. Fantastic writer.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah.
Do
you want to finish with the Butch?
Yeah. Did you want to? Well, I want to remind people that Brian McGinnis will be our guest on Wednesday night.
Yes, we did.
And if you've watched the show or just been on the internet, he's the Marine veteran and current firefighter and father and husband that stood up in a Senate hearing to tell these a-holes that are sending our children to war, apparently for a religious reason, and causing havoc and death in the world so much, starving. And I mean, they're doing the very worst things. And all he did was stand up and say, we should not die for Israel's wars. Yep. And as soon as he said the word Israel, it was like a bubble. Boom. The Capitol Police swarmed on him.
Yep.
And then that idiot from Montana ended up breaking his arm in the door because it got stuck. But he's going to be our guest, and we're very honored to have him.
Yeah. It'll be fun. It'll be great to have him on.
Yeah.
And he can let us know how his arm is doing. Oh God, that was just.
Yeah. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and I was going to put that up and hit the notification bell and then volunteer.
Right. Please like and subscribe, folks, because that really does help us. And yes, this is my own little sign I put up. Help the Green Party get on the ballot in Illinois if you live in Illinois or are on the borders and could come in. We are collecting signatures. We're out there every day. Edie is our #1 signature gatherer. There is no contest here. There's just no contest. Edie's doing a wonderful job. I'm trying. I am trying, but we need help, folks. It's going to be about the number of people. We got to get to 25,000. So Edie and I could do a lot, but we can't get to 25,000, folks. So we need help.
Two of us,
no, can't. So we need help.
And like when we were talking to Valielza, they moved our petitioning period back into almost the winter months, and when it's stormy and crazy and tornadoes and things here. Chicago's had cold weather almost the entire time. I've been lucky enough to have only like maybe 4 or 5 days of cold weather down here since it started.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm doing so good. And I'm treating them like I'm already at my job.
Yeah.
So this is important. So I get out there every day. Every day is Green Party Day at my house.
Right.
So I get up in the morning as soon as I'm waking up with my coffee. I start checking emails, organizing people to do things, helping create this show or whatever the task of the day is. And then, if I'm out of the house any later than 1, I'm mad at myself because then I know I only got 4 hours to collect signatures.
Yeah. So you can reach me at scott.free@ilgp.org. So I can get you a petition. I can let you know any of the details around it. But yeah, please, please, please help. And we should probably go through a couple more comments.
I was just going to say, and if you can't join us to actually petition on the ground, you can also donate.
Edie's interview is name the radio station again. If you
It's
just
on
go
WDBX in the archives.
Yeah.
So they didn't really cut it at the hour. That's why we didn't use it. But if you go to the archives, it's Rosemarie's chat box, and it's the 4 o'clock one. There's 2 of them there. It's a little confusing. If you go like 24 minutes in, that's when our interview starts.
Yeah.
So I'll put the. I don't know. I'm more critical of myself than other people.
Oh no, it was great.
Too much.
I listened. It's great, folks. It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah. I'll go grab it. But yeah, if you want to, I guess, is there anything else that we need to cover?
I think we'll just end with Butch on what is a revolution. So let me get that going here.
Yep.
And I want to thank everybody for coming in and checking out and hearing what was happening with Butch Ware's situation. Hopefully it's more positive. I was really freaking out, but hopefully they think it's going to have a happy ending. So we'll see. They're in court Thursday.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm putting it in the chat. Be kind. My first radio interview. Oh my gosh.
Struggling here. Do you see it?
I just saw it. Yep.
Okay.
Here we go.
See, some people think that a revolution is always about guns and knives and guerrilla struggles. And sometimes it is about that. Look, it's getting dark out there. None of us can say that it won't go that route. But that's not what a revolution is. That is a means of revolution. What is a revolution? A revolution is the turning of a wheel. That's why you count the revolutions in your car, the RPM. It's how many times the engine turns over. Revolution means that which is at the bottom rises to the top. And some people, they fetishize the means of revolution because they imagine themselves being out in the woods or having to fight. And again, we don't know where this is going to end up. It's looking bad. But my hero, my role model, the person that inspired me to accept the religion of Islam and to be brought into the Black liberation tradition is Malcolm X. And Malcolm X said in 1964, he said, the ballot is a weapon of war as effective as a bullet or more so, because you can seize power without the bloodshed. See,
Some people an uprising, we're rising up. It's an uprising, we're rising up. It's an uprising, fight the power. It's an uprising, fight the power.